Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirits. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in to another action-packed show, as in this week's episode we're going to be discussing the topic of flipping timelines. Also in this week's episode we see me becoming a vessel for Spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through in the form of this week's channeling. And then later on in the episode we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So like we say, what we're discussing today is the topic of flipping timelines. So let's get started. Straight away, as everybody that's listening to this at some point in their life will have gone through a phase where all of a sudden they find themselves at a crossroads. And what I mean by that is they have multiple choices to make. What direction their life is going to go from this point onwards. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that when we're in that situation, life can feel very overwhelming and we feel very anxious, very nervous, and also we're conscious about all the elements of the choices that we have to make. So it's almost as if our life reaches a pinnacle point where we hit these crossroads, where we have the option, obviously, to change the direction and the course of our timeline within our life. Now, as we were saying, this can be very intimidating, and you can feel under pressure. Let's face it, when we've been put in those positions, we can feel under pressure, and we think about all the situations, like we say, our family, our friends, our loved ones, finances. We think of all the scenarios, and we can actually drive ourselves crazy by just staying in that vibration. But what I'm suggesting today with this topic is by feeling into each one of those choices, each one of those situations on an energetic level, before you even begin to make a commitment to any one of those decisions. By doing this, it's almost as if you're getting an energetic sneak peek, so to speak, before committing. And you'll generally get a feeling about this when you're thinking about those scenarios, those situations, and those choices that you have to make. You'll get an emotional feeling, either a sense of dread or fear, which obviously would indicate, actually, this choice isn't the one for you. You may even find that you get a feeling of feeling really excited. Even though you're not wanting to feel excited, you cannot disguise energy, as energy doesn't lie. So you may start to feel the butterfly sensation in the tummy muscle area there, in the stomach, in the solar plexus. This would be an indication that this is a good choice to make. And then there's those decisions and those energies that you're bombarded by all the choices, all the information, and you feel overwhelmed with it, and you feel a little bit down in the dumps, and you can feel that your own mind is kicking in. The ego mind is saying not to do that because it will be too much hard work, and you won't get quick results. However, your energy, the emotions behind that, as we say, energy does not lie. You can feel the truth vibrations in a situation, is contradicting what your mind is saying, is making you feel empowered, making you feel confident. You get the feelings of joy. You get that light feeling in the physical body as well. And obviously this would be an indication that this, despite your mind saying no, the energy doesn't lie. So the energy is telling you, yes, this would be a good choice to make. But as you're aware, we have free will. Nobody can make these choices for us. We have to consciously take our responsibility for ourselves and make these decisions. So I'm just giving you a little bit of a heads up in a way that you can decipher what choice is right for you in that moment in time. Also, another technique I would certainly recommend is tuning in to an alternative version of yourself that is also happening in this present moment, in the now moment, when you're making these decisions or faced with making them. And what I mean by this, it's almost as if you're allowing your imagination, shall we say, to run riot. When you're looking at these choices, allow those visions to come forward, where you're visualizing yourself going through those scenarios, those opportunities that have been presented before you. You haven't committed to anything yet, but you're going through those vision states, and you're just watching it, observing it like you're watching a film or something of that nature. And just allow the symbolisms, allow the visions, the film, if you like, to play out. And just take a mental note of how that made you feel. Did you get excited by watching that? Did you get a little bit on edge, a little bit frustrated by seeing that? Did the film that was playing out in your mind, did it keep going on a loop? The same situation happening again and again and again? Because I feel that's important, because that potentially could be telling you, actually, if you were just to choose this particular choice that you're faced with, there could be lots of lessons for you to learn. And also it could be suggesting that you'll be in the same old situation again. It's not taking you anywhere forward, anywhere fast. So that is another technique I would certainly recommend, to tune in to the alternate version of yourself that is happening in this very moment. And I know that sounds very unusual for me to say this, but what I mean by that is, I'm sure most of you may know that we are multiple dimensional beings. And what I mean by that is there's many, many, many versions of ourselves, all playing out different scenarios, different storylines, all in the now moment. And so when you make a choice and you focus in on that choice and you commit to a choice and you play out that timeline, all of those other choices that you didn't choose, what happens to them? Well, what does happen to them is those alternative versions of yourself still carries on with those choices, and they play out. And so what I mean by this is, because we're splitting our soul, our energy, if you like, it's continuing to run, that where we place our focused attention, that is us actually moving into a different energy, a different frequency, a different timeline, a different version of ourselves. And in many respects, people may observe you when you do make various choices in your life. They notice subtle changes that have occurred with you. Maybe this could be your physical mannerisms, the way that you carry yourself. Your confidence could have changed or diminished for that fact. Also, it may be the fact that you have a different look about your face. Your features look slightly different. Obviously, you look the same, but very subtle nuances that are slightly different, that only those that know you and are close to you will spot these nuances. And I would suggest that potentially what is happening there is the fact that you've moved into a different vibrational version of yourself. And obviously, it's gone through different timelines itself. It's gone through different journeys running parallel to yours. But because you made that conscious decision to connect with that vibration of yourself and that timeline, that some of those, I would say, energies connected with that will be playing out in your conscious reality, and only those that are observing you and know you quite well will spot these nuances. I just thought I'd throw that out there to you because it's very interesting. It's a topic that I could maybe expand on a later episode, because it does kind of baffle me in a way, but excites me with the infinite possibilities of this scenario. Okay, also with this, I would certainly recommend Now, we've all been encouraged not to do this from being a very young child. And what I'm talking about here is allow yourself to daydream. It is very important, and I'll say for why. Because it is in my belief that daydreaming is us actually tapping into an alternate reality, a different reality that's running parallel to the one that we happen to be experiencing in that moment of time. If you can take yourself back, for example, when you was at school, I'm sure most of you were like me at school, particularly secondary school, comprehensive school, if you will, where a lot of the topics and subjects you were covering was of no interest to you. So you found yourself actually being in the classroom. The teacher's voice would be bar, 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 a bit like the teacher in Charlie Brown, and it would fade into a like a blur. And you'd find yourself maybe staring out the window, looking at the wall, or staring at the desk in front of you there. And while you was doing that, your mind was elsewhere. You was having visions, you was having this daydream, you was experiencing a different reality of perhaps where you want to go in life, what you want to be doing rather than being there in that present moment. And you found yourself feeling blissful, having this experience, feeling excited, not feeling restricted, and just feeling really calm and relaxed. And it was only upon the teacher or somebody in your classroom calling you back, "Oi, wake up, what you doing? Stop daydreaming," that you felt the heaviness of the vibration that you happened to be in that moment in time when you came back to that reality. And again, you felt the heaviness and the weight of the situation on your shoulders, and your mood instantly changed. It was pulled down again, and you felt a little bit low ebb and like, oh. So the reason why I'm saying give yourself permission to daydream is because this will guide you. It will inspire you to make positive, life-affirming choices. Perhaps these choices won't align with everybody around you. Let's face it, when we do make radical decisions where we are inspired, a lot of people around us are looking at us funny and saying, well, why are you doing that for? That makes no sense. I wouldn't do that if I was you. The thing is, they're not living your timeline. They're not in your shoes. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know what you're feeling emotionally, what you're seeing in your visions, in your daydreams there. They have no knowledge of that. Only you can make that decision. Just because it doesn't align with everybody else doesn't mean that it's wrong. Let's just look at this for a moment. Let's face it, a lot of people, and I have been in this position myself in the past, most of us are, and this is where we're following a perceived lifestyle or outcome. Go to school, go to college, go to work. You go to work, you get up in the morning, go to work, you do your shift, you come home, you have your tea or your dinner, your lunch, whatever. You chill out, you watch television, or you may meet up with a friend, and then you go to bed, and then it's repeat, repeat, repeat. And you've got probably like 40 odd years of that. Now, we've all been sort of, I would say, shall we call it, I would call it like a mind spell. We've all been captured in that mind spell at some point in our life. Some of us are still in it to some degrees, and understandably, because this is how the society functions, and some of us dip our toe into that, obviously, so that we can function in society, but we also have our own way of living that is in alignment with ourselves. So, anyway, I'm rambling a little bit with this, aren't I? But my point being with this is to follow your own truth. Only you know what you're feeling. Only you know what you're seeing, what your aspirations are. So even if it doesn't fit in the local society or the global society agenda, it doesn't matter. You don't need anybody's permission, only your own. And only you have that free will to make that choice, to move forward or backwards if you want to make that that choice to go back to a certain situation, to experience something again, because you didn't extract the wisdom that perhaps you could have done the first time. Again, it's all down to free will. But what I will say, when you do move into a different timeline, or you're about to emerge into a new chapter of your life, a new timeline, what I would recommend is that you start observing life, because life will show up differently for you. You'll notice lots of synchronicities occurring in your life. And what I mean by this is opportunities coming your way. You're not going out searching for them. You're not asking for them. All of a sudden, they start to land in your lap, and people find you for whatever reason. Also, like I say, different people will come and will go in and out of your life during this time there. Some of the people and their vibration, you may not be aligning with them anymore. For whatever reason, they're living their life. They have their choices, their pathway, their lessons to learn. You have yours. And so at some point, those energies, I would say, part company. No words need to be exchanged. There's no unpleasantness about this. There's just a general understanding now that people move on, people change, people grow, people expand. But there's always that, in my experience anyway, there's always that sense of love and respect for the time that you've shared with those people, for the memories that you've created with those people. But anyway, what also you will notice is signs from the universe. Signs can be anything, really. It can be repetitive numbers. You may have heard me talk on one of these episodes before about angel numbers. When we research the meaning behind a number and add digits together to create additional content and messages, we will start to put the pieces together and find that actually the universe has our back and everything is working out in our favor. And these numbers, angel numbers, are there to support us, to give us that trust, to give us that faith, and also to give us that encouragement in moving forward with the choices that we've made. Also, signs could be repetitive thoughts that just pop in your mind out of the blue. Rather than stuffing them down and ignoring them, give them a little bit of time in your head there and start to question them and explore them with playful curiosity, because these words or these things in your mind will be, I would say, guidance, signs from the universe to help you on your new timeline. Also, signs can be symbolisms. Symbolisms can come in many forms. Number plates on vehicles, signs actually on buses or transportation. Even symbolisms can be in the form of a shape. Say if you look at a leaf and it's fell on the floor and it's right in front of you as you're walking on the pathway there. You happen to look down at your feet, you see this leaf and it looks like a heart shape. That would be a symbolism. And obviously with it, most leaves are green, depending on what stage they are of their growth, or the time that they fell in the year. Then that would certainly suggest love, obviously, with it being in a heart shape. It would also be telling you to follow your heart, and also the color of green will be representing, I feel, growth and abundance and your heart chakra there. So there's lots of messages to be had when you start observing things. And you usually find that when you're moving from one chapter in your life, moving into the next chapter, again, flipping timelines, that you'll start to see lots and lots of these synchronicities and signs showing up in your life there as well. Also, I'd recommend that when you move into a new chapter or flip into a new timeline, to go with the flow, because there will be part of you that will be resisting these changes for the comfortability, for want of a better word, of what you've done before. And you was very comfortable, very relaxed. There was no stress there. Yet this, you have no answers for this new timeline. So you're a little bit unsure. So you're very much walking in faith. But I would certainly recommend that you go with the flow. Don't resist, because you're moving into one of your highest timelines. And if it's your highest timeline, then it will trigger you, because you're moving beyond the old patterns, that you followed, that you were in a perpetual cycle there, maybe mentally, emotionally, physical. So there's going to be changes. So embrace them, go with the flow and trust, and things will work out. As we've said earlier, everything is sent to you in your life to help you, to guide you, to make you flourish, to make you grow. Even some of the worst situations that you go through in your life, in the present moment, and you're observing them and you think, I don't like this at all. Why is this happening to me? When you move beyond those circumstances and those situations, you start to find that actually there's wisdom and there's knowledge and there's lessons to be learned in those situations, because they led you to a crossroads moment in your life where you had to make another choice. So if you hadn't have gone through that situation, you wouldn't arrive at the destination that you're at now. So there's a way of looking at it in a more positive time frame as well. Also, you'll notice that time is literally speeding up. I know personally, particularly this year of 2024, I've noticed that, it's Monday, before a blink of an eye, it's Friday, moving into the weekend again. And it's like, where has this week gone? Yet I've achieved so much, I've done so much, and yet this week has flown. You will start to notice that time seems to be speeding up. Also, what you will notice is you'll start to become more forgetful of past events that you've gone through within your life. Maybe altercations, situations that you've been in your past there, that were maybe key moments in your life. What you will find is you'll start to become quite forgetful of them. And people will talk about these events right in front of you. They'll tell you that, you was there, you was at the side of me. Was I? I can't remember that. You'll be finding yourself going through this period of time where a lot of these things are no longer within your conscious and subconscious mind. And this is simply because you have changed your vibration. You have changed the timeline in which you're walking on. And so a lot of those events, although they did help to serve you, to get you to the point where you're at in your life at your present moment in time, however, once you've arrived at that destination, in order to go with the flow and flourish on this new timeline, those events, that information, both energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically, they're no longer relevant for you, because they'll keep holding you back and they'll keep putting you back into that cycle, that loop cycle of living in the past and staying stuck there. So you'll find yourself becoming quite literally forgetful with these things. But from what my guides have told me about this, they've said, don't worry, Glenn. All events, all moments, mentally, emotionally, physically, memories that you've experienced, even though you can't consciously remember them, you can't recall them, know this, that all of that information is stored away. And I said to them, stored away, what do you mean like that? And so my guides began to tell me, and they said, it's similar to what you would be aware of in your today's technology as a cloud. So a cloud, as if many of you know, is a storage device, an online storage device where, say, for example, your phone is getting clogged up with photographs and information. You would then send that over to the cloud, the storage device, the online storage device, and then that would free up your mobile device. So it would be more efficient, so that it would be a stronger transmitter and receiver of information. And so my guides use that analogy to illustrate the point that actually this is what's happening with us when we reach a certain point on our timelines, flipping timelines, that when we feel that we've forgotten and we don't know where that information, that experience has gone, it has been saved. And my guides have said that when and if you need to recall that information to help you in your current timeline, your new timeline, then all you have to do is ask the universe, ask your higher self. And then what you will do is you'll have a brief moment of experiencing those memories, those emotions, only if it is relevant in serving your timeline, your new timeline that you're in. So I found that very interesting that my guide shared that information, because it makes a lot of sense personally with me. I've been finding that, it's such a struggle to retain information. But as Spirit was saying, we're all transmitters and receivers of energy. And so if we happen to get clogged up with all of these emotions, these visions, these details that are just nonsense, really, in the grand scheme of things, in our new timeline, then we wouldn't function. We wouldn't function at our highest capabilities within that new timeline. So I find that personally very fascinating. It makes a lot of sense. Also, I would say realizing that you are a conscious creator. What I mean by that is that you have the power and the free will to make a decision. And know this, when you're feeling overwhelmed and maybe you're feeling a little bit down in the dumps, feeling like you're treading water, not going anywhere fast, always remember this phrase: you're one thought away from changing your reality. You're one thought away from changing your reality. And just holding that statement in your mind, it will make your mind curious. What do you mean by one thought away? And that will instantly change your vibration. It will give you a snippet of information, maybe some inspiration, some guidance, a word, an image, a symbolism. You will experience that in your mind, which will literally catapult you to making that positive thought that will take you out of your current situation that you're not aligning with anymore. So it's a very powerful statement. I'm going to say that again. You're one thought away from changing your reality. When we think about it, we are, quite literally. We can say yes, we can say no, can't we, at any one given moment of our life there. So with this being said, I would say that with the responsibility that we have with our free will and the choices that we have to make, if we boil it down to its core state, I would certainly say that there's only ever two choices that we make in our life. The first one being love, the choice of love. The second one being the choice of fear. So whatever situation or circumstance we're confronted with, just remind yourself, there are only two choices. Am I responding with love, or am I responding with fear? That way, you're taking responsibility for your own life, your own choices, and it gets you to the core state, the core issue of the circumstances, the choices that you have to make. And when you feel into that vibration of love, obviously we all know how beautiful that feels. And when you feel into the vibration of fear, we know how icky, sticky and stuck we feel, and tense and aggravated, even feeling aggressive and standing our ground, feeling intimidated. We've all been there at some point in our life, haven't we? So when we start to make more conscious decisions with that in mind, start to notice how your life starts to flow in the direction of your choosing. Now you've taken your power back as a conscious creator. What I would say as well is to stay calm when you are confronted by multiple choices and decisions that you have to make. Always address your breathing. As we know, when we feel overwhelmed, our breathing quickens. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing that. But observe your breathing. Get yourself calm and relaxed. The more relaxed you are, release that tension out your arms, out your physical body, and just slump in a chair. And then start to analyze the choices that are ahead of you. And remember what we were saying, there's only two dominant choices really when we boil it down to its base level, and that is love and fear. And so assess each decision that you're needing to make, with that being the key basis. What you will find is you will then start to take more responsibility of your life and the decisions that you have to make. And what I'd like to end this on is, and I'm sure many of you have experienced this, but it's always a great and gentle reminder, very positive one I find. And this is the statement: when one door closes, another one opens. I'll say that again because it's very poignant. When one door closes, another door opens. So remember, life is always serving you for your greatest good. And when you learn and grow and expand, that beautiful energy of yours and that experience and that knowledge and that wisdom goes out into the universe, out into the ether, adding to that great expansion, creating it to move into another dimension, another timeline, a heightened vibration. So you are adding and you are contributing to one and all by doing that. So I hope you've enjoyed this little talk today, and I hope it's given you something to think about when you are feeling overwhelmed at a crossroads in your life and you don't know which way to turn. I would certainly suggest that on some level you already have the answers. It's just tuning into them, relaxing into them, and trusting the process. We're now going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdom and communication through. Just ahead of doing that, I'd just like to ask how everybody is doing. Are you having a great week? How's your energy levels feeling? Are you feeling overwhelmed, maybe intimidated, or overcharged with energy, where you're finding that you're having to do activities in order to disperse some of this extra energy that you've been carrying? Just to share with you, last weekend I had the opportunity, and I went over to the Lake District, and it was incredible. And the reason why I bring this up is I felt so calm, relaxed. I was in awe of the natural surroundings. It was so beautiful. I was pinching myself. I couldn't believe I was actually there. And it's only now, upon looking on at the photographs, that I think, oh, I was stood there the other week, and you know, this level of gratitude just showers right over me when I look through the places that I visited. So I feel very blessed to do that. And the reason why I bring this up is because it helped me to feel more calm, more relaxed, more connected with nature. I came back after that trip there feeling absolutely at bliss, at peace with myself, and very grateful. So I just thought I'd share that with you to give you that inspiration if you're feeling the need to go and have a look at somewhere different. Follow that influence. Anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's channeling from the world of spirit.
We are entering a time where it's most important to indulge in self-love, and what we mean by that term is the appreciation for who you are and the efforts that you have attained over the duration of your lifespan. We want you to know that you are worthy, you are deserving, and by showing yourself that appreciation, not from the perspective of the ego, you must understand, but from the soul perspective, by giving one that understanding of self-love and recognition for all of what you are, will help you to shine, to thrive and grow as you move forward on your timeline. There's going to be, at the moment, currently, a lot of confusion with individuals who are on that, shall we say, knife edge, where they're unable or unwilling to give themselves that self-love, that confidence that they need in order to thrive and move forward. And yet there are those that give that element of self-love, that realize the importance of spending time with one's thoughts, with one's emotions, in order to process and let go of old energies and burdens that no longer resonate with you on your desired pathway moving forward. So it's a great time for self-respective perspective, shall we say, realizations, and noting that you all are worthy of love. It doesn't matter where you're at in your life, on your timeline, you are all connected, and therefore you are all worthy of love. So despite your circumstances or what you happen to have gone through, always recognize that that element of self-love comes from your heart chakra. And we will start by saying you will feel this vibration as you will notice that your heart will start skipping a beat. Nothing to worry or frighten you about. It's simply coming into alignment. It's very magnetic, the heart, and it has an intelligence beyond the intellect of the human mind. So trust when this is occurring to you. Feel that unconditional love and warmth emanating from the center of your heart space. This warmth will fill your entire body, your soul, with joy, a sense of satisfaction. And it's this what we're alluding to, that you need to, well, we say need to, but what we're really meaning is you have the option to choose love and to bask in this vibration. And it's a great energy to do that with. A lot of you may be finding at this moment in time that you'll be letting and releasing various things out of your life. And what we mean by this is you'll have this natural desire to move on in some way, shape or form. You will feel like you're being boxed in. And you'll have this desire to be more free as an individual and do the things that you want to do, that is in alignment with your soul path and your heart chakra. This will also involve you getting rid of various items of clothing, items and objects around the home that are no longer serving that love in your heart and no longer aligning with you. It's time to let some of these items go, objects, so that other people can celebrate and experience that degree of love by connecting in with the object, the item that you are giving away or donating in some way, shape or form. I'm sure you will agree that most of you that are listening to this, when you desire either some clothing or an object or something around the home, and it fills your heart space with love, you feel that magnetic pull, and you'll also, this is what is encouraging you to align with the energies and vibration of that object or article, and it will allow you to bring that into your current time-space continuum in your reality. However, as you know, everything is in a constant vibration of change, and so there comes a time where some of these objects, items, clothing do not hold that frequency with you any longer. Yet they are ready and willing to hold that frequency to others that are manifesting that very thing into their life. So when you're feeling these vibrations, trust the process and let go. By doing this, you'll be clearing the space, not only in your home, in your mind, but also in your energy field, and it will create a space for you to yet again connect and magnetize those things, those people, those experiences into your life. It's a beautiful moment when you go through this transitional phase, and which you all have done through various points in your life. However, you have not been aware of this as the process and what has been happening. But a lot of you will be finding yourself going through this at this moment in time. And there'll be a level of excitement coming to the surface. There'll be a level of anxiety coming to the surface. Both things are valid. Both elements are transformative in their very nature, as they allow you to be, shall we say, more in control of your choices rather than letting things, people, places dictate who you are and what your pathway should look like in that vicinity. Most of you will be finding that a change is as good as a rest, and you'll be wanting to have an explorative time away. And when you come back into your everyday reality and you come back into your native grounds, shall we say, you will notice that you will begin to see your surroundings differently with a fresh perspective. And it will also help you heal. It will also help you show that level of gratitude for all you are and where you are and what you have. And so it's a very transformative time that most of you will be aligning to. It's in preparation for the end of the year towards November, because in November there's going to be more of an obvious split in your society, and we do not wish to say this to instill that level of fear or negativity in you. We just want to say this so that you are prepared in advance, and that you have this understanding that by connecting in with your heart and you're trusting your feelings, that everything will be well, and you'll be inspired and guided to and influenced on some level to make the choices that align with your highest timeline on your soul path. However, those of you that are ignorant to these changes coming in, you may experience a rocky period in your timeline, because it will bring up triggers and also frustrations and fears. So we're just giving you a bit of a heads up before November to allow you to do the inner work and show that inner love to yourself, and also grounding, allowing yourself to be present, and also showing that level of gratitude for where you're at. It doesn't matter what you happen to be going through. There's always that opportunity to see things in a higher vibration. Even if things have gone wrong or have gone against the plans that you had set in stone, we say there's always the opportunity to see a greater good in that situation or environment. And so by doing this, it will keep you buoyant in your vibration. It will allow you to be that container of love and healing that will emanate from you and be like a magnetizing field around you, where others can also benefit the healing vibrations that you are holding and allowing to permeate in and around you. So it's a very helpful time that most of you will be going through. However, by showing that level of self-love and having respect, by setting healthy boundaries around your time, your energy, your thoughts, and also the use of your natural gifts and abilities, then this will help you to hold the line for humanity in terms of holding that love vibration and helping the planet, Mother Earth, to ascend into new timelines where your sense of self-worth and freedom are the prize, shall we say. But we just thought we'd come through just to give you this bit of information prior to November of 2024 coming in, so that you have that time for your mentality, your emotions, and also your physicality to be prepared for these beautiful changes coming in. They are to serve you not only as a human race, but also your animal kingdom and your plant and fauna. And Mother Earth will benefit from you doing this work. As you work within yourself, the efforts of your labors will be appreciated and will be noticed by others around you. You will be that beacon of light, that torch of love that others will feel comfortable in, and will in fact allow them to show that beacon of love from themselves. It will give them permission to do so once they recognize that it's safe to be yourself in this transformative phase of the earth plane. We want to end this talk with you by saying there is nothing to worry about, And yet there is everything to be excited about, as in all areas of your society, things are being shaken up. Shaken but not stirred, shall we say. Shaken up in order to release those old shackles and vibrations that have held you down and stopped you from thriving in life. They've kept you in survival mode. We're talking about the monetary system. We're talking about the governing factors that rule or give the illusion that they're ruling your everyday life. And in fact, you have the power and have had the power all along. And so November will be a very transformative phase in your society where you start and see that tables will be turning. You'll be taking responsibility for your own thoughts, your own actions and emotions. And in fact, it's a beautiful gift and realization to come to, because that level of freedom that everybody has a desire to follow their truth and their instincts will be more readily available to you. So thank you for listening. We appreciate all of your intense vibrations and your gratitude. And we leave you our love, our blessings, and our healing for you. And remember, when you're going through these changes, you are never alone. There is an army of spiritual warriors stood at the side of you to enable you to push forward and make these beautiful changes which will have a ripple effect onto one and all, not only your societies, but also into the plant, the animal kingdom, and also Mother Earth. We send you our love and we send you our blessings. Goodbye for now.
Again, another fabulous communication there from the world of spirit. And I think we all needed to hear that on some level there, you know, showing ourselves that level of self-love that perhaps we squash down and ignore and we keep calm and we carry on. But predominantly, this is something that we need to embrace and be proud of who we are, the achievements that we've gone through, and also where we happen to be in our life. Showing ourselves that we are worthy of love. We are an embodiment of love. And the importance of being at peace with your thoughts and emotions as we allow ourselves to observe them and process them. And by doing that, we feel more healthy, more in alignment with the truth that who we are. Also, very interesting to hear about us being inspired to clear space in our life, whether this is energetically, emotionally, or indeed physically, with items that no longer fill our hearts with that joy, with that love. And so by gifting it and clearing out, gifting it to others, we can then share that beautiful energy of love and happiness within them as well. So very interesting. And also it was nice to have that encouragement to be brave enough to be a beacon of love so that others can feel safe to show their divine essence as well. What a beautiful message there from Spirit. So now we're going to move on to the next segment of this episode, which is this week's forecast reading. So sit back, relax, grab a pen and paper if you want to take notes, and enjoy this week's forecast reading from Spirit. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 23rd of September 2024. Now, those of you that watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the Angel Tarot card. So what I'm about to do is just shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's forecast reading. Okay, so here's your card for this week's forecast reading. Now I'm going to link into the vibration of that. Well, first of all, what I'm feeling with this week is that you need to be available and open to new opportunities coming into your life. I'm talking about unexpected change. Maybe the part of you that likes things to be just so will resist these changes. My guides are saying that you just need to relax into this week and actually explore with more playful curiosity and know that you've nothing to fear. Everything's going to work out better than you've ever anticipated. Also this week, I'm being encouraged to tell you that watch out for your energies fluctuating. What I mean by that is 1 minute you'll be very hyperactive, and you'll be all blazing with ideas, and you'll be full of great intentions. And in the next moment, you'll feel depleted of your energy. You'll feel tired. You'll feel agitated. Yet there's the part of you that is wanting to still forge on and carry on doing what you normally do. My guides are saying that this week you need to listen to your body. In actual fact, when you're feeling that desire to slow down a little bit and maybe gift yourself some time and rest, that you do need to do that. It is very important that you listen to your physical body this week, because the reason for this is that you're now learning to balance your energy within your life rather than frittering the energy away or overselling yourself, or in fact giving that energy away to others that perhaps aren't worthy of that beautiful divine spark that you carry and share with others. Also, what I feel for this week, you will be noticing that you're going to be experiencing a higher connection with your higher self. And what I mean by this is you're going to be gifted inspiration from your higher self or your spirit team, your spirit guides, to help you labor save. So what they mean by that is, rather than watching you struggle and learn the hard way and do things the hard way, they're going to give you that inspiration to make life flow a little bit more easier for you, more efficiently for you, so that you're not wasting your time and your energy. This week will also see you actually saying yes to invitations where perhaps at one time you would have made your excuses and said, I'm busy, or whatever excuse you usually use to avoid meeting up with people and interacting with people. This week will actually see you turning that round and saying yes, and just seeing where the chips lie and actually enjoying yourself in this process. This is also what I feel is the part of the new shift and change that is occurring with you this week. That desire to be more interactive, more social with people, and just link with people on a different level. I feel as though it would be good for your personality, it'd be good for your confidence, and also you'll be sharing your beautiful light with those people that you happen to be invited to be involved with this week. Can I also say that watch out for your heart chakra this week? And I feel in terms of love and romance, your heart chakra will be expanding. So you'll feel this gentler side of yourself, this desire, this magnetic pull coming to the surface. Perhaps you've been aware of it in the past, but more so this week, you won't be able to ignore it any longer. So you are to trust those stirrings in the heart and actually go with the flow with that. So don't judge it. In terms of romance, I feel as though once you follow this inspiration, this guidance within your heart, it's going to lead to amazing new pastures beyond your wildest dreams. And this doesn't matter whether you're single, in a relationship, married, whatever your circumstances is. I feel as though there will be a shift in terms of your heart vibration in connection with emotions and love and romance there. So please watch out for that. So let's turn over the card for you. At the top of this card, it reads strength. So it's telling you, as we've said earlier, to when you feel that desire to rest and take time out, honor that, because you will need that energy at a later stage. So rather than frittering away that energy, you are to build up those energy reserves. Again, this will, as the title suggests, give you that inner strength and stability that you need to march on and march forward. Okay, underneath that we have the inscription that reads, personal power and assertiveness, portrayed with kindness, compassion, that brings about forgiveness, realizing that you're stronger than you knew. Beautiful message there. Again, the confidence that will be exuding from you this week will actually be coming from your feelings, from your heart chakra. And actually, as we've said previously, that by resting, by knowing when to strike when the iron's hot, that is part of this week's charm. It will see you flourishing better than you ever anticipated. Looking around the card, we have some letters there, AR. To me, that represents air. It's talking about being more open to new ideas, going with the flow, allowing yourself to float along with the breeze there rather than forcing things to happen, rather than having a certain narrative or agenda, leaving an element of chance in your life for the universe to work with you and actually bring in your manifestations, your dreams, your desires that you've been wanting for some time now. By just going with the flow and trusting will allow this process to occur more openly. The other side, we have the Roman numeral of XI, which to me indicates the number 11. So I'd like you to research the angel number of number 11, as I feel that will give you some additional content and information. Also, when you look at the number 11, it's two sticks, one at the side of one another. That would also indicate a partnership of some kind, of level pegging, of equal, of balance. There's some sort of partnership, so watch out for that coming in. Obviously 1 and 1 is 2, so please research the angel number of number 2, as that will also give you some additional content and information. Looking in around the edge of the artwork of the card, we have beautiful browny green colour there going into orange and brown at the bottom there. So let's talk about that. The green would represent growth in your life, the heart chakra, trusting your emotions this week, more so now than ever. Brown would indicate being present, being grounded, being aware of your surroundings, not being caught up in your mind and overthinking, and even getting caught up in daydreams this week. It will just see you. It's telling you just to be more present and be aware of your now moment consciousness. The orange represents looking after your physical health in terms of the food that you consume that's going to give you that vitality, going to give you those vitamins, the energy that you need there. Red is also telling you to stop, take time out to reflect and honor you this week. Also, it's telling you to say no to things that no longer serve you anymore. So do watch out for that. Inside of the artwork, we have this beautiful lion there, which could indicate the star sign of Leo. Also, the lion, they say, is the king of the jungle as well. So it's talking about you taking your power back as well. And also being more assertive, learning when to say yes, we're learning when to say no. And also, as you can see, this lion is chilling out, is resting there as well. So knowing when to rest there as well, that is very important this week. There's an angelic feminine behind this lion, so this would indicate that your sensitivity is going to actually allow you to know what move to do next. So the divine feminine will be working through you, through your sensitivity. So listen to your emotions, listen to your feelings, trust them, don't ignore them, and follow them to the letter. I feel this week would benefit you. Behind that, there's a tree, which would indicate stability, putting your roots down, trying something new, and also branching out and exploring on your new adventures. But predominantly this week, you need to go with the flow, rest when you feel you need to. So that's what I picked up for this week's forecast reading. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this reading, you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a buy me a coffee link either above or below this video, which is a virtual tip jar. So all of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do to help people raise their vibrations on their pathway. If you'd like a private reading or any other of my services, head over to my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can book in with me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium as well. Join me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Have a fabulous week, everybody. Bye for now. Well, it sounds like we're all set for a very interesting week this week, and where we have to pay attention to our energy levels. And let's face it, a lot of us, when we're feeling exhausted, we just keep on carrying on, don't we, until we grind ourselves into the ground. So it was nice to hear that inspiration for us to actually listen to our physicality and slow down when we're inspired to do so. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode as much as my spirit team and myself have, bringing it forward to you, and you can take some comfort in the information and wisdom that they brought forward. Can I ask if you have any questions for the show that you would like answering, please contact me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. As ever, it would be fantastic to hear from you all and your feedback upon the the show as well would be gratefully appreciated. Anyway, you can join me the same place, which is www.pulsetalkradio.com at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time next Monday, talking some more weird and wonderful aspects of the spiritual, self-help and paranormal. God bless. Take care. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium